is Adelaide and welcome to my channel. First of all, public service announcement. This dress has pockets and is perfect for twirling. This is Penguin. She is going to be joining us because this video is largely about her. I'm going to be talking to you today about what it means to have an ESA animal at school, how you get one, whether to know your pet is right for that role, and what the definition is. So, enjoy. Okay, so first of all, what is an ESA animal? It stands for Emotional Support Animal. They are not service animals. They don't go through any training. It's just your pet. And so they can only be in your dorm room or your apartment with you. They can't go to to class with you, even though there was somebody who was allowed to have their ESA cat in the financial aid office while they're working there, which, I mean, I can see why you'd want a comfort animal while you're there. And so it's not very difficult to get an ESA animal. I already had academic accommodations for my physical and mental health, and so it's perhaps a little bit easier for me. You might have to jump through a few more hoops if you don't have those accommodations in place. But basically, you just have to get a doctor or your therapist or someone to sign a paper saying that, hey, this person has anxiety and having their pet with them would really help. Which, obviously, why wouldn't that help anybody? And then the first time I had it, I transferred schools. So the first time I had the letter written for me, it was free. The second time I had to pay, I think, $15 for my therapist to write it for me, which is not that much. No. Penguin keeps moving, so I keep moving because, you know, she's the star. On this video, she's an expert at being an ESA animal. So basically, what I had heard for an ESA animal is I have anxiety and depression and panic attacks. So it's really nice to, you know, come back after class if you're feeling really stressed or really down, and you have your kitty with you, or your dog, or your rabbit, or whatever. And you know, like how some schools do, they'll have puppy day right before finals, same concept. And it really did help with my anxiety and depression. If I was feeling depressed and didn't want to do anything or get up, I had to, because I had to feed her, I had to walk her, yes, she walks on a leash, and I had to play with her, so that was really beneficial for me. It's also a way to help me meet people. I had a baby gate up in my door, and she's terrible at jumping. She's short and stout, stubby legs, bad at jumping, can't jump more than like a foot without having issues. And that I'd have a baby gate out and my door open, and people would come by, and I would ask to pet her, and I'd say sure, and they could come in. I have social anxiety, so that was always great. And Penguin loves people, and so I liked that I could help people feel better. Well, how do you know if your pet would make a good ESA animal? Penguin is the ideal ESA animal. And that is for multiple reasons, and all these things you should consider when deciding if your pet is a good fit. And really, in my opinion, if your pet doesn't match all these categories, I don't know if it would be great for your pet to go to school. It should be a mutually beneficial relationship. It might be good for you to have them, but it might be too stressful for them. Okay, something else I kind of forgot. So when you get documentation, you know, to get an ESA animal, a lot of schools are more open to it now. I know a lot of people had ESA animals, but at both of the schools I went to, I had to go through both the student accessibility office, like the office that helps people with tutoring or academic accommodations if they have disabilities, as well as the housing. It's different for every school, so I would get information from both those departments and see what you really need, because it can be different for every school. But the process ran pretty smoothly. Just had to make sure she had all her shots, and yeah, it was pretty smooth sailing. So first of all, traveling. She does not mind car rides that much unless she can tell we're going to the vet. She might meow a few times while we're driving. The first school I went to was an hour and 40-minute drive, and she did wonderful. I'd have to stop sometimes and, you know, give her some pets, help her calm out, but she did fine. If if your pet is going to be super stressed on a 3-hour long car ride and you're planning on going back and forth multiple times a semester, that's not really fair to your pet. So second of all, she adapts great to new situations. I bring her to school and open the carrier. It's her place. She's checking it out. She's fine. She goes find somewhere to take a nap and is wanting to play like 30 minutes later. She's very adaptable. Yes, aren't you? She's dust from treats all over her face. I had to entice her up with those. And so if your pet gets really stressed in new situations, new smells, new spaces, that's also not very fair. And that brings up another thing, is that you have enough room for your pet. Now, Penguin, my dorm room was pretty small the first year I had her. It was like 8 by 10, but I had a loft bed, so she had levels. Cats like having levels so she could get up, she could get down. I always had my window open a crack so she could get fresh air. She could sit on the windowsill. She had boxes. She had places to go. Your pet needs to have some quiet space to go by themselves. Because, for example, somebody I knew that had a cat, they had a party in their room, and it's as small of a dorm room as mine, and they had like 10 people in there, and their poor cat was running around back and forth freaking out because it was so loud, and like people tried to pet it and pick it up, and it did not want that, and I felt so bad for the cat. So if you're going to be having a ton of people over and there's no space for your pet to go to that is safe and quiet for them, that's not very fair to them. Third of all, she does well with new people. She loves new people. If anyone comes over, she assumes they're there to see her and they're immediately her new best friend. She wants to sit on their lap. She wants them to play ball with her. She assumes everyone adores her, and eventually they do. If your pet freaks out easily with new people, again, that might not be such a good fit for them. It's really pets that have a more nervous disposition and are not very confident or sure of themselves that might not make a good pet ESA animal at school. She's very confident, perhaps overconfident, and she is very social. She is a socials dog, meets you at the door. If someone's at the door, she comes running, tail wagging, wants pets, and snuggles immediately. Just don't pick her up. She hates to be held. But, and so she has plenty of space in my dorm room. And another thing you should consider is whether you have the time for them. Because depending again on the pet's disposition, they may be a pet that needs a lot of social time. And if you can't provide that, then that's not fair. If you're going to be gone all the time, but your pet really likes having people around, that's not fair. I was in my dorm room a lot of the time, and so, I mean, she loves to go on walks. I could walk her every day, play with her 30-40 minutes a day, because I had a work study, but it was only 8 hours a week, and my campus was very small, so it was very easy for me to just be in my room with her a lot of the time. So that's another thing to consider. If you're going to be gone all the time and your pet's just going to be stuck by themselves in a tiny little room with no space of their own, and that's kind of it might help you with your depression, but it might give them depression. And I think that's all I have as qualifications. Last thing, I will give you Penguin's backstory. She was a little kitten. My cousins came over a few days before, a few days after Christmas, and we decided to go sledding because it had just snowed. And she, a little tiny kitten, started following us while we were walking, and we put her back across the street because we thought that's where she lived. And then she kept following us, put her back, follow us. Eventually we cut across the field, and we see her coming behind us. The snow is like up to her little chin. And again, we try and put her back, but then we get to the sledding hill. She follows us up to the top. And I had the not great idea that I feel bad about now to say to my cousin that she should take her sledding down the hill. I didn't think she would listen. My cousin was like 15, so I mean, we both should have known better. But she did, and obviously Penguin freaked out and scratched her face. But she still followed us home, and we ended up starting to carry her home because she, it was up to her little chin. She was so tiny. And so we assumed she was a stray, and we have strays coming over our house all the time when I was little. I would tame so many of them and get them adopted and everything. And I've convinced my parents to keep 2 of them. This girl and Charles, our other cat that we have that's alive right now. And she followed us home, and she's been here ever since. So, thank you for coming over. Please let me know if you have any other questions or comments or concerns or anything. And I hope to see you soon, as does Penguin. Bye.